Why does women's tennis enjoy as much if not more popularity than men's tennis? A couple of reasons spring to mind. 1. Almost all tennis competitions have both men's and women's matches, so they're neither competing for the same airtime, nor relegating the women's matches to off-peak. 2. For some people, the women's inability to hit as hard as the men makes for a better viewing experience. These days, men's matches end up being a bit of an age game, because the server's power is greater than the receiver's reflexes. Because women can't hit so hard, they don't fall into this trap, and you see their matches get a lot more and longer rallies. This gives the audience a better chance to actually view the skills on display, and also adds much more tension to the game, as you see back and forth within individual points. More fun to watch. Longer rallies. Women's tennis is absolutely not more popular than men's tennis. Not even close. Most women's-only tournaments have folded and the women hold events at joint tournaments with the men. TV ratings and sponsorships are far greater for the men. In fact, the director of the French Open is Amélie Mauresmo, a former women's player. She gets to decide who plays when and on which courts at the tournament. She got criticized for not giving women prominent night matches, which are more widely viewed on TV. Her response was the men are more popular. Women's tennis has its role and has produced many great champions, but it's in no way comparable to the men's game. They are competing in the same events as men, given similar airtime, and the same level of marketing promotion. We've seen the same thing happen with UFC. They started having female bouts, promoting the female bouts, and featuring them on the same card with the male fighters. Most UFC fans were really excited about female bouts. Many of the female athletes have become quite well known. Many women's sports don't get equal airtime or promotion, and the airtime may be in competition with the men's leagues, who have a lot more money to play around with. In tennis and UFC, the women athletes reap the benefits of fairly equal treatment by the financial powerhouse of the organizations, sponsors, and benefits of being visible in the sport. Longer rallies and short skirts. I think one reason is that tennis attracts a more mixed-gender audience than some other sports. I also think that tennis is one of those games in which the greater strength and speed don't add as much to the quality of competition as in other sports. Back in the days of McEnroe et al., sometimes the men's game was such a power game that to me it became monotonous, just constant serve and volley. The same could be said of women's gymnastics versus men's, women's figure skating versus men's. And I think part of the reason is the more mixed audience than other American professional sports. I think the women's game has been less predictable since Serena went on mat leave, then retired, and so it's hard to see who will win. Ryonaku stormed onto the scene and got injured and is only just getting into a bit of form. You had Ash Barty retire at a young age. Naomi is the next named player, but she hasn't become dominant. The Czech woman, apologies I forgot her name, was the first unseeded player to win Wimbledon. In contrast, although there's a changing of the guard happening, the last 20 years of men's tennis have been dominated by just 3 players. So while men's might be more popular, I think the women's game is that little more enjoyable on unpredictability alone. For starters, it doesn't enjoy the same popularity. Maybe in the United States because of the Williams sisters, but globally it's not close. The gap is smaller than other sports because, quite frankly, women are featured as often as men are. There's really no overstating the impact of just seeing the women on TV as part of normal coverage. When you turn on a Grand Slam, you are almost as likely to see a ladies' match as opposed to a men's match. Is it though? Men's tennis is vastly more popular, mostly because of the legends that still play. Women don't have that anymore. Some sports that women participate in just draw more viewership, like tennis, figure skating, and gymnastics. Men watch sports more, and tennis features long-legged women in short skirts. Williams sisters helped grow tennis in the USA. Maria Sharapova and Anna Kournikova helped as well. Maria was a good opponent for the Williams sisters and Anna had the sex appeal, which helped Allied. Women's tennis and golf are actually enjoyable to watch. Women's basketball, hockey, soccer is just not enjoyable to watch. They are great athletes, but it's just not fun to watch in my opinion. The people that I know that play tennis and golf make it their entire life and are more likely to watch those sports. Bums. It's the skirts. Possibly because of the same reason for women's volleyball or women's golf, the skimpy skirt shorts they wear. You want to know why the sport where pretty girls bend over wearing short skirts is popular? The grunts. Same reason, women's volleyball, gymnastics, and ice skating is more popular. This is categorically not true. Women's tennis rides on the coattails of men's tennis.